Tune in. The Black Cat Party presents the Real Talk Show where we talk about friendship, love, and purpose. Right here is your host, JRX36, and this is an All Ages Alliance production.
Yup. Today on another episode of In My Own Words, we're gonna check out day 10 of the Real Talk Show back in the 2020s. Traveling back through time. Let's go. Because what else is time but a bunch of thoughts strung together and connected by something we decide to call time. So let's travel through time. Let's go to December 10. Up. Real Talk Show, Day 10, December 30th, 2020. Let's get that happy like that. Let's put this on at 1.5. Let's pull up. Look at that man right there. Bang. Okay, the audio sounds a bit low.
If you're going to do it solo, you don't really need the participants in chat. You can just see a sound.
Okay, let's minimize this a little bit. I can minimize this right here. Put that right there. Put that like that. I like it like that right there. So, you know what I'm saying? With the red glasses, you know what I mean? The black and gray shirt. Trying to get that. Extra fun. Look at this. Look, we got here. IU up in here. IU. Right here? Or was there
No, that's Alexander's Zoom link, so we'll just close that.
Okay.
And then I guess when you go here and you want to go back, you just click the Zoom.
Okay.
Or the Zoom app.
Welcome to the Taboo Free Talk Show, where we talk about anything and everything. I am your host, Crown Jewel. Real Talk. Tune in. The Black Hair Party presents the Real Talk Show, where we talk about friendship, love, and purpose. I am your host. Tune in to the Taboo Free Talk Show. Hold up. Welcome to the Taboo Free Talk Show, where we talk about anything and everything. I am your host, Crown Jewel. Tune in. Black Hair Party presents the Real Talk Show, where we talk about anything. Tune in. Black Hair Party presents the Real Talk Show, where we talk about friendship, love, and purpose. Friendship has everything to do with aura, love is more, and purpose is about saving time. I am JRX36. This is an All Ages Alliance production. Tongue twister. All right. I'm gonna go ahead and practice a little bit more, get that coming out a little bit more smoothly. Tune in. Okay, welcome. Tune in. Black Hair Party presents the Real Talk Show, where we talk about friendship, love, and purpose. Friendship has everything to do with your aura. Love is more, and purpose is about saving time. I am JRX36. This is an All Ages Alliance production. Tune in. Black Hair Party presents the Real Talk Show, where we talk about friendship, love, and purpose. Friendship has everything to do with aura, love is more, and purpose is about saving time. We just hanging out. I am JRX36. This is an All Ages Alliance production. We vibing. Nothing else, nothing more, nothing less. We vibing. No words, just chilling. You and me. Real Talk Show. Of the Taboo. Tune in. The Black Hair Party presents the Real Talk Show, where we talk about friendship, love, and purpose. Friendship has everything to do with aura, love is more, and purpose is about saving time. I am JRX36. This is an All Ages Alliance production. Tune in. The Black Hair Party presents the Real Talk Show, where we talk about friendship, love, and purpose. Friendship has everything to do with aura, love is more, and purpose is about saving time. I am JRX36, and this is an All Ages Alliance production. That's right. Know what I'm saying? We just vibing. He practicing. We just vibing. We do this. We practice here. I'm saying, got the notebook. Welcome to the Taboo Free Talk Show, where we talk about anything and everything. I am your host, Crown Jewels. What happened? There you are. I am your host, Crown Jewels. Engine 9, making a guest. Tune in. The Black Hair Party presents the Real Talk Show, where we talk about friendship, love, and purpose. Friendship has everything to do with aura, love is more, and purpose is about saving time. I am JRX36. This is an All Ages Alliance production. Yeah. All right. let's get to it. So on today's show, we just gonna freestyle. We're gonna touch on a little bit of this and a little bit of that. I've been preparing to have segments, so that's going to begin to unfold. We're gonna practice it, a little bit of this and a little bit of that, a little bit here, a little bit there. I'm saying we just coming into order, practice, see how it feels, and then it takes form. So we got a segment called Living Persons Audio Bank. We're gonna skip on that for today. We got a segment called POF Explore. We're gonna skip on that today. We got a segment called Mental Health Questions. We got a segment called Mental Health. We're gonna skip on that. We got a segment called Question of the Day. We're gonna skip on that. We about to skip on everything. Now, what I do want to talk about is identity. Let's talk about. Right? I want to talk about identity. What's an identity? I'm saying, you talk about identity, I'm thinking about confidence, I'm thinking about bullying, I'm thinking about a bunch of things. Let's talk about identity. What is an identity? So, we'll look it up, see what the magical internet defines as identity. And we just gonna go from there. See the sandbox. Identity, the fact of being who or what a person or thing is. A close similarity or affinity. What is a person's identity? Identity is the qualities, beliefs, personality, looks, and/or expressions that make a person or group. A psychological identity relates to self-image, one's mental model of oneself, self-esteem, and individuality. What is the deeper meaning of identity? The definition of identity is who you are, the way you think about yourself, the way you are viewed by the world, and the characteristics that define you. An example of identity is a person's name. Example of identity are the traditional characteristics of an American. What are the types of identity? Multiple types of identity come together within one person. These can be broken down in the following: cultural identity, professional identity, ethnic and national identity, religious identity, gender identity, and disability identity. And that's according to Wikipedia. Let's pick up on that right there. Let me go ahead and get some papers so I could go ahead and take some notes as we unpack, reimagine, and recreate the definition of identity. Where you at, D. Steezy? D. Steezy. And Camille, Terry. I do my own echo. I do my own echo. Okay, here we go. We got this paper right here. Yeah, we back. That's gonna just keep dinging. I see. Let me just go ahead and close that out. I don't really feel like hearing that. Ding, ding. Ding, ding. I don't even have that. I see you. Let's get some light up in here. Damn. You see me now? You see me? Out of this, so we don't have to hear it. Ding, ding, ding. Welcome to the Taboo Free Talk Show, where we talk about anything and everything. I am your host, Crown Jules. My co-host, Alexandra Blockton. Our featured guest, D. Steezy, and our number one panelist, Camille Terry. All right, so we're talking about identity. Let's go ahead and break down identity. So what's my identity? I'll go ahead and just talk about my identity, my cultural identity, professional identity. So you got a cultural identity. You got a professional identity, an ethnic identity, national identity, religious identity, a gender identity, disability identity. And really, what are these? These are just all social constructs. So then, if all these identities are socially constructed, then who are you really? False identity. Who are you really? Made up identities. So who's making up your identities? Others or yourself? One's identity consists of three basic elements: personal identity, familial identity, and social identity. Each of these elements is determined by individual circumstances. You're talking about identity. That's your stance around this circle. That's your circumstance. Where are you standing at on the circumference on the circle? Developing an identity or sense of self and those traits
a person desires to have can take time and may be challenging. Not having a strong sense of self or struggling with identity issues may lead to anxiety and insecurity. So that's where we're going at right there. That's at the core of what this is about. What is your identity? And ultimately, what happens when you don't have a strong connection to self or when you don't have knowledge of self? Knowledge of self. What happens when you don't have knowledge of self? When you don't have a personal identity, a familial identity, or social identity, or when one of these identities gets taken from you. Go ahead and
One of these identities, because you could also just give them up due to social pressures,
have fun with this. Let's see, here's Facebook.
especially if there's pressure, direct pressure, aggressive pressure towards your religious belief system or some other personal form of identity. Oh, who that be? That be Juju. Who that be? That Juju or are you?
So I'm gonna go ahead and choose a picture, you know, or set of pictures that begin to hint at the idea of this identity. Oh, I like this one. So we'll take this, we'll save the image as, save as identity one. I like putting everything on the desktop. I'm just old school like that. I like putting anything I save on a desktop.
Just vibing, we chilling.
You know, it's like really, who are you? Who are you really? Are you a man? Are you a woman? I guess that would be considered gender identity. And you know, some people are real fluid with that, so they don't particularly identify with one gender or the other like that. Is that right or wrong? You know, that's not for me to decide. I'm just stating some facts. Call that identity number two. You know, are you your religion? Some people identify as their religion. You know,
Like I am a
some people
Christian,
identify with their
I am a Buddhist, I am a Hindu. Those are people identifying. I'm a Muslim. People identifying with religion. So, do you identify as your religion?
nationality.
Nationality? I'm Dominican. I'm Haitian. I'm Jamaican. I'm Peruvian. Like, what's your national identity? All construct, none real. All construct.
All their
Our gender is the one that's the most real because you got like you got genital parts that go with the genders that are associated with them. Like you got males got this, and females got that.
or with their some people identify with their profession. I think this one's actually quite fitting.
And it's like biologically, I guess, biologically, but there's nothing biological about your culture.
You know, it's like, who are you? Who you is? Let's go ahead and open the desktop. And we're gonna go with one. Open.
Oh,
Add a second one.
are you working, man? Are you working? Are you talking?
And then third one.
You thought this was the real talk show. What you doing now? What you doing? Oh, what you doing? You're just wasting my time here. Why don't they just be vibing? Just be vibing.
Who am I?
Am I? Am I who you say I am? Am I who I say I am?
You know, so as we explore identity, you know, it's like Jaden, you make it so that this doesn't do the notification, like log it out.
You got tiny.
But see, some of your messenger came out on here.
Thank you. Tune in. Black Hair Party presents the Real Talk Show, where we talk about friendship, love, and purpose. Friendship has everything to do with aura. Love is a more, and purpose is about saving time. I am JRX36. This is an All Ages Alliance production. Who am I? What is your identity? Who am I? What is your identity? Well, let's talk about that, and then we can drop this on purpose, under purpose. So for purpose, what's my purpose? Who am I? What's mine? Who is mine? What is my purpose? My age is 38. My race is Black. My ethnicity is what they call Latino X, Latin X. My gender identity or expression is male. My gender is male. My national origin is, I guess, the United States of America, is where I was born. My family's from the Caribbean. Sexual orientation would be heterosexual. Mental, physical ability, I guess I'm mentally and physically able, whatever that means. My work experience, I work right now. My education, formal, I guess, is got a master's degree, and I did a year and a half of a doctorate, and then I quit. I'm a quitter. Political belief, okay, let's go all the way libertarian. I am in support of the non-aggression principle, and I am for small government unless we have a responsible large government, and then I'll be all for it. Now, can you show me a large responsible government? Good luck. My family, I am the youngest of the youngest of the youngest of the youngest. I'm the last born. Organizational role. I organize language and communication. I speak Espanol, a little bit of English, and a little bit of Ebonics. Income, I'm broke, poor, rich mentally, and soon to be the wealthiest man alive. Religion, I am, Jesus Christ is my hero. Appearance, bearded, hairy man. Anyway, that's who I am. Now, what does all that mean? Nothing. It means nothing. Who do I think I am? I think I am identityless. I am defined by none of this, or my identity is that I am defined by no identity.
That's right. Like, I almost want to replay that.
When I say I have my knowledge of self is that I'm here to serve, and when I'm here to serve, that means to hold space for who, hold space for those that need me to hold space for them. You know, whomever is in my sphere of influence, and I hold space for them. And ultimately, my goal is to serve, and that's my purpose. You know, to serve, especially those that are low, and by low,
serve is saving time.
I mean suffering. By suffering, I mean those especially that suffer in silence, or those that feel that they just are disconnected from everybody else.
And by suffering, I mean pressure, the sensations that come with the pressure that you are feeling both physically and emotionally.
So I want to be able to connect with them under the umbrella of identityless. Because I'm identityless. I'm here to serve. I'm here to be here for those that don't know or want to be here.
And if I do it right, I can do all the work and be out and be gone. And that's good. Just be here and be gone. But if it's done right.
How did I arrive at an identityless identity? Well, it's been a long journey to becoming identityless. In becoming identityless, I thought I was everything. I had a savior complex. I thought it was my responsibility or it was my purpose or role to save the world. And then I realized I had to save myself, and I realized I couldn't even save myself. So then I found the hero that I was able to follow, and I eventually found myself saved. What does it mean to be saved? It means that I'm at ease, and I am happy to be ordinary. What does it mean to be happy to be ordinary? It means to be happy just as is. I am happy being as is.
I wish you can keep up with that logic and that reasoning and that conversation, because it's so basic, but it's so to the point.
Expect anything of myself, and I do my best to not expect of others. Now, I do have expectations of some people, I guess, but I live my life to remove those expectations. And I say I got expectations of some people, but I can't even tell you what it is. As a homeschool teacher of my children, I expect them to, daily work towards their craft or work towards something that they value or have set a goal to achieve. So for Jaden works on the platform. For Janine, she's an artist in Juju. He could just chill. When he's ready, he will know what he wants to work on, and I'll be more than happy to encourage him and push him towards that end. Now, as they develop their identity and they grow up, I'm here to support them in that. Now, do I push a personal identity on them? I guess to the extent that I expose them to a personal identity is that they are artists. I think that we're all artists, and by artists that we have the ability to be creative and to create. And I think that being creative is one of the highest forms of expression, especially when you're uncensored, when you're free to express yourself and to be you. So other than that, they are free to choose how they want to identify culturally. We don't necessarily practice any traditional cultural norms. We do have our own eating habits that can begin to shape our culture. So we are plant-based, and by being plant-based, it means we don't consume dairy, we don't consume egg, we don't consume meats, we don't consume fish. We consume plants, and ideally things that grow, not necessarily living, breathing things that grow. or anything that has eyes. I guess is probably the way I've heard it said before. Um,
We eat the rainbow. We eat all the colors. So like eggplant, that's like purple. So we eat purple. You know, we eat like let's say yellow. That could be like corn. You know, we eat all the colors. We eat red. That could be strawberries, watermelon. You know, green. That could be broccoli. That could be lettuce. You know, we eat all the.
professional identity, that's not something I connect to. Ethnic identity, I think that we have the possibility of creating a new ethnicity. And if I was to identify with an ethnic group, which I halfway identify just for the sake of being relatable, so I identify as Latinx just to be relatable. However, I believe that I want to be part of a new identity, of a new form, a new type of person, a person that seeks to be their best version of themselves and is happy being as is a person that has realized who they are. And who they are is identityless. I'm identityless, and I'm here to find other identityless individuals so that we can together be identityless and be identified as the identityless ones, which I'm choosing to call the eonics, the eons, those that represent the largest measure of time, the ones that have come and gone and have never been. In terms of national identity, I am a proud American, American of the Americas. That's just a name that is a most modern name of the individuals that identify with being born on this geographical location. Nationality is a geopolitical status, and then in terms of religious, I can only point or speak of whom I learned from and whom I seek to emulate, and that would be Jesus Christ. So he's my religious leader. Would I call myself a Christian? If Christian means following the example and or words of Jesus Christ, then I guess I call myself a Christian. Gender, I am a male and I identify as a male just because I was taught that if you have a penis, then you're a male. And outside of that, I do understand that gender roles are social constructs, but I do believe that there is a difference between someone that has a penis and someone that has a vagina. Just because one has a penis and one has a vagina. Now, how that gender expresses itself, I think that's socially constructed. Now, I think that some individuals may have some advantages and or privileges and or abilities that the other may not have. Like males, individuals with penises generally have more testosterone that will give them access to some abilities that maybe someone who has less testosterone has. But other than that, I don't want to get into it because it's like, what does it mean? And then when it comes to ability or actually disability, I mean, we all have disabilities and abilities. So it's hard to define myself by my disabilities, or I'd rather not define myself by my disabilities or abilities. I'd rather define myself by time. And currently I am 38. And what that means is that I've been on this planet for 38 years. And that, I guess, means that, well, it depends who you ask, but it has to do with the sun and the earth relationship. Whether the sun orbits the earth or the earth orbits the sun, that relationship between the sun and the earth is used to dictate how long one's been on here. And I can identify with that form of characterization because it's something that can be measured objectively. Outside of that, it's very challenging to measure much else objectively. You know, for some people, they have multiple sex parts.
I told you drink water. I told you, bro. I told you, baby. 1 second. And I'm back. After a brief distraction. She okay? Hey, Betsy. Coming in my screen again. Yeah, there she go. Look, that's her right there. She's on a roll, back-to-back appearances. Okay, so we'll just look out here play. We'll just.
And they can be a combination of male and female, and that gets tricky as well. Race gets tricky as well. All these others get tricky, and by tricky I mean hard to define. Just like identity is hard to define. So, however, to not be connected or not have knowledge of self can lead to a mental crisis, and a mental crisis can lead to um, dis-ease, um, disconnection, dis-
Huh? Yeah, over there. It's my mom.
connection from oneself and others, the disconnection from oneself and society. And looking at an identity chart here. Oh, look, I've been sharing my screen this whole time. Let's look at this identity chart. We have female British, Ghanaian, Catholic daughter, sister, granddaughter seven sisters, sings in school choir, street dance, club member, learning to speak French, history Greek, writes poetry, likes rap music. Identity charts are a graphic tool that can help students consider the many factors that shape who we are as individuals and as communities. And I think this becomes an important exercise, especially for teenagers, individuals that are trying to find their place in society. Okay, summer, sun, friend, softball, loyal, me, athlete, interesting mind's map. Stephanie lives in Boston, tall, self-appreciating writer. I speak with an accent. Who am I? Gamer, musician, friend, a gardener, teacher. Identity, the qualities, characteristics, or beliefs that make a person who they are. Identity charts are awesome. Just about the only way we can think of to make them better is to animate them. Oh, this seems fun.
So, in addition to searching Google, you could also search YouTube for. You put YouTube in the search bar. You put identity, and you just start exploring what different influences they're talking about, what different authors are talking about, and it gives you multiple perspectives. Like, identity is a social construct, but you have to socially construct your identity. But what? Divergent. Who are you? Why am I
So when
giving?
it comes to identity, I think of that movie Divergent. It was very interesting that they divided their society into five factions. You have abnegation, amity, erudite, candor, and dauntless. I think these were pretty good um, ways of dividing society in a way that allowed for people to choose which faction they associated with. And then the movie was interesting in that it, created a new category or a sixth category called divergent. And I think that these ways of dividing society can relate to the way we can divide society. Now, granted, I will divide it a little bit differently, but let's talk about the divergent factions and how identity plays a part in their uh, formation of these factions. So we have abnegation. The people from abnegation are selfless and try to help other people out and give leftover food and clothes to the factionless. They wear gray clothes and the women wear their hair mostly in a bun. Okay, so I forgot about the factionless, which are those identity lists, or those that just don't fit in, which are governed or ruled by divergent. So divergent is the leader of the factionless,
Well, that's not the way it necessarily.
those that don't necessarily fit in to any of the specific categories that have been approved or organized or endorsed by society. And then abnegation are the helpers. Abnegations are the support system for the homeless, for the rejected. So abnegation,
Are the order.
they govern. And govern isn't the best word, but they relate, they serve the factionless. So you have Divergent, who are the leader of the factionless. You have Abnegation, who serve the factionless. And then we have Dauntless. The faction is famous for their brave and fearless people. Dauntless members are supposed to protect society. Members usually wear black clothes, have tattoos, and women wear dark makeup. So the Dauntless are like the police, or the so we have Abnegation serve, we have Dauntless protects. And I guess they protect from the bad guys, and you're gonna have bad guys within all the factions, and they are there to protect. and you have abnegation, who serve the factionless. And it seems like Divergent should govern or relate, govern or relate to the Dauntless. It's like the Dauntless need a checks and balance, and their best checker is the Divergent. So abnegation serves the factionless, and the leader of the factionless governs slash relates to the Dauntless. Erudite members are the smart and intelligent people in the society. They created most of the technology and have to wear blue clothes every day. So the erudite,
So erudites are the teachers, the educators. Now, why am I doing this? You don't have to watch the movie, um, but this is it's a good movie to use as an example in a way of dividing individuals based on their identity slash personality type.
are the educators. And it makes sense that the educators will probably, let's see, who do the educators educate? Well, it makes sense that the educators
They educate everybody.
basically serve the other factions. You know, they should serve the Divergent or the factions. They should serve the Abnegation. They should serve the Dauntless. They should serve Amity, and they should serve Candor. Let's see, Candor. All the members are honest and trustworthy. They tend to say the first thing they can think about and have to wear white clothes.
The
So
artists,
Candor are represent justice.
visions,
Justice relates to judges.
the artists.
They ought to be the just, and they practice radical honesty. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Amity. Members of this faction wear orange, yellow. The people are peaceful and don't want to get involved in fights. So the peaceful ought not ever interact with Candor or Dauntless. They would likely work or relate to Abnegation. They'll probably keep away from the factionless, or they should work with the factionless through Abnegation. And they should also be educated by Erudite. The time to break down these factions and talk about these factions, because these all relate to roles in our own society or ways of expressing ourselves in our own society. People can find an identity if they have no identity by figuring out how they fit into society. And in society, some of us are here to serve, some of us are here to protect, some of us are here to educate, some of us are here to be an example by being peaceful, and some of us are here to be judges, to be able to mediate conflicts through practicing radical honesty.
So it's either you leading or you following, but one way or another, you are a part of this greater system. So what role do you play in the collective?
So the question becomes is what is an education or an educator look like in this type of system of society? What is the role of the educator? And I would venture to say, like I mentioned earlier, the role of the educator is to empower individuals um, to choose to express themselves in the best way that they are able to express themselves. And in my belief, I think we are all artists, and from everything, everyone can come off of the coattails of an artist. We all begin as artists, as creators, and then we can choose our particular craft and express ourselves in a way that allows us to feel as if we belong to a society. And people will choose that based on their skill set or their abilities or lack of their abilities, either their ability or disability. But in choosing an identity, one easy way to look at it is, are you an educator? You know, are you here to serve? Are you here to protect? Are you here to judge? Or are you here to just be, to exist? And regardless of what it is that you are here for, the goal would be for you to be exactly where you want to be, and know that you will.
She needs some help. Can you get her a towel, Juju? Just eat it. She needs a towel and then the mop.
Experience the consequences of your decisions. And if you choose to violate the rights of others, if you choose to violate the non-aggression principle, then you will be judged accordingly, and you will be held accountable. And I believe it is my purpose.
So choose a role, and it seems like the educators, in addition to educating and informing all the other factions about society, they keep a historical record of society and find some process by which they can continue to tell that narrative, either through performing arts or through just traditional schooling. But the role of the education system is to maintain a historical narrative of the groups within the society.
Purpose to create the infrastructure, to create the language, to be able to formulate the framework that that allows for individuals that do violate the non-aggression principle to ultimately be held accountable. Now, the idea would be that if you have knowledge of self and you feel that you have an identity, then you should be at ease with who you are, and you shouldn't force your way or force your beliefs or force your thoughts on any other group.
So who are you? What's your narrative? What's your role? What's the identity you're gonna choose?
I forgot to rename my box. I am JRX36, and this has been an All Ages Alliance production.
Madonna.
So as we continue with the show, I'm going to begin to break down my perspectives on how it is that I view the world and how do I believe I exist within it. And my intention would be to attract those individuals that could relate and could be of benefit, can receive a benefit from my way of describing the world that I see. Because ultimately, I think that we are all valuable as is. I think that we all have something that we can contribute. And then knowing that we have something valuable to contribute, then we can find a sense of being, sense of belonging within the bigger society. And if we are able to practice or take actions that move us in the direction that is a pro-social, then it allows us to partner and team with other individuals for the cause of improving society. And in a society that has been divided by gender, race, age, class, and ethnicities, more than ever, we need to find a way of coming together and unifying under some new umbrella. And for now, the first umbrella that I'd like to create is that of the eons, of the Eonetians, of those that represent the largest measure of time, which, to connect it to what we've been talking about, are the divergent ones, the factionless, those that aren't black enough, those that aren't white enough, those that aren't male enough, aren't female enough, aren't young enough, aren't old enough, aren't rich enough, aren't poor enough, and aren't any other thing enough. But we could be enough for ourselves, and enough is enough. Enough is enough. Enough is enough is often associated with a negative context. It's often said when someone is under some stress or under some negative emotion. But enough is enough. That's a positive. That's a positive form of expression. And enough is enough. So I'm going to go ahead and take a minute to uh, build on the idea that enough is enough. So I'm right now going ahead and share my screen. Let's go ahead. Now let's share this one. Enough is enough. I'm going to go ahead and make a post on my Facebook page where I can hint at the idea that enough
is enough.
is enough.
Enough is enough is enough. Do you believe that? Enough is enough. Is that believable?
This has to do with identity theft, but I kind of like it. Identity
Yes.
less.
But I'm but just a series of numbers. I'm just but a couple data points. I'm just a little bit of time and
is
space.
enough. Is enough. When enough is enough. See, enough is enough has like a negative feel to it, but enough is enough doesn't have to be.
Enough. Be enough. Be enough. Enough is enough. Enough is enough. That's what we're talking about here. We still on the topic of identity. You know, a lot of people go through a phase where they don't feel worthy enough. You know, so this is a to counter that. Enough is enough. If you don't feel worthy, just know enough is enough. The easiest way to go about discovering that is about to start making art. Every day make art. Plenty of it. The most that you can make. And you'll watch, you'll get better. You'll get better and better. And you can use art as a medium to express yourself. You release all your thoughts onto it. You put it all on paper. All of it. And you will soon be empty. And in that emptiness, you'll discover that enough is enough. What's on your mind? So on this day, we made 2 posts. You know, when a person doesn't feel enough, you know, that means their self-esteem has received the damage, has taken damage that needs to be restored and or fixed. So the individual needs to go get some confidence by repeating a task over and over and over and over and over and over again. And by repeating this task, by being persistent, this person discovers a new talent or a new ability or discovers something that will increase their self-esteem.
I like that. Boom. I don't even got
Focus on your body. Be conscious of your movements, your expressions, your exposure.
Perfecto Mundo. Who am I? Risk, complexity, solution, complexity, desire,
You lack
predictability.
confidence. You just need to
Changes,
be
abilities,
confident about.
skill, experiences, change, access,
Oh, that's Jacob. Jacob looking like Juju in these pics. Oh, Roger Rabbit. What are we doing now? Now we just okay. Now we just surfing the internet. The internet.
Oh, so you did know that. What's that? What is that? Who is that? Who's that guy?
Who's
Who
that?
is that guy?
There he is.
No, who is that guy?
There he is. There he is.
Connecting with our history and Mayan ancestors.
You know what I'm saying? Look
Sharing
at
at the Mayan ruins. And look, we're gonna just perfect way to end this session.
oh, now we gotta see this got blocked because of what's about to happen.
Look, so I guess it's
We cannot play that Nipsey Hustle.
over.
So as soon as it gets there, okay. Oh, look at that art. Accept it. Know what I'm saying? Clever hair. Know what I mean? I wish I thrive every Sunday. I wake up 100% energized with strength while I ease warm blooded. Oh, I can't play that either. Play that either.
Nobody wrote them.
Mute it. How about that? We'll just go ahead and mute it. Scroll some more. I can't read that. I just enjoying the art. Enjoy the art. Enjoying the art. Enjoying the art. Okay. Well, Jaden.
I'm just driving through the city. Ain't nobody rolling with me.
It's about that time. Let me go ahead and.
Tune out. The Black Hair Party has presented the Real Talk Show where we talk about friendship, love, and purpose. That was your host, JRX36, our special guest, Jacob,
Are you V?
and we will see you next time. Take care now. Bye-bye. Deuces.
Hasta luego. 2, 2, 5.